Hello everyone. In the previous session of paper 3, that is physiology, biochemistry and immunology, we have discussed what do you mean by osmoregulation and what are the types of solutions, and related to that osmoregulations and osmoconformers. So in this session mainly we'll concentrate on osmoregulation in fishes and osmoregulation in mammals. So coming to the first one, that is osmoregulation in fishes. So depending on the water, it may be fresh water, marine water or brackish water, even fish react to different types of the water where they are living. So coming to that, so in osmoregulation of fishes, so we all know that fishes are aquatic vertebrates. They live in fresh water, sea water, brackish water, and these fishes are homeoosmotic animals, which means they maintain constant concentration of their body fluids. Hence they are called as hemio or homeoosmotic animals. So they are also called as osmoregulators because they regulate the concentration of their body fluid by the exchange of fluids and salt between the body fluid and the external medium. Usually if they are present in hypertonic solution, like for example if they are living in sea water which will be having a high amount of salt, so what happens, the water has to come out or it has to enter inside. So you need to think about that. We will explain in detail. So they are osmotically stable because they maintain the constant internal medium. So their internal medium will be maintained depending on the external medium. So as I was telling, they live in different types of habitat, and they are euryhaline animals. It means they can tolerate wide range of salinity. So for example, during tide time, what happens, the water moves from higher altitudinal region to the lower altitudinal region. So there the salt water, it may enter to the delta region or the estuary region. So usually they migrate from one place to another places also. So on what they are depending, so they develop different types of mechanism. So first one, we are going to discuss about osmoregulation in fresh water. Second, we'll be discussing about osmoregulation in marine. And third, osmoregulation in migratory. Some they migrate from seawater to fresh water, some they migrate from seawater to fresh water, and also vice versa. So depending on that type of regulation, we'll discuss about these topics. So coming to the first one, that is freshwater fishes. So we all know that the body fluid of the freshwater is hypertonic. It means the inside the body, the concentration related to the external environment, it is hypertonic. It means the body is concentrated, and the freshwater is hypotonic. Hypo means it is less concentrated when compared to the body of fish. So what happens now? So due to this, the end osmosis occur. End osmosis, I have said, endo means it is coming inside. So the fluid which is present in the external medium, that is hypotonic solution, the fresh water, it is entering inside the fish body. So as a result, what happens? The fresh water enters into the body fluid and the volume of the body fluid increases. So this is how the mechanism that takes place in fresh water. So during that time, what all changes happens inside the body? Like for example, the excess of water is removed in the form of urine and glomerular kidney. Along with the urine, the amount of salt is also lost. So hence the salt content of the body fluid decreases. Then what happens? If the salt content is decreasing, the water content has to increase. So this salt loss is made due to the absorption of salt from the fresh water by chloride cells from the gills. So These mechanisms are very very important for your examination. So they can ask, write the osmoregulation or write a note on osmoregulation of freshwater fishes. So you need to know the mechanism, how water enters, what type of solution is present in the external medium and all, and you need to draw this diagram. So as you can see in the diagram, so the complete diagram explains. See, the fish body, as I have mentioned, the hypertonic body. What happens? Hypertonic means it is concentrated, and hypotonic freshwater, because the water is less comparative or the less concentrated when compared to the body. So due to that, what happens? The absorption of water, it takes place through the skin, and later the endosmosis, that is the entering inside, and diluted urine due to the glomerular kidney, and later the salts are again taken by the help of chloride cells. So you need to draw this diagram and explain about the osmoregulation in freshwater. So this is about the osmoregulation in freshwater. Next, coming to marine fishes. So we know that marine water is completely hypertonic because it consists of maximum amount of dissolved salts. So the body fluid will be hypotonic, which means the body will be less concentrated when compared to the salt water. So later what happens? As we have seen in freshwater, endosmosis was happening. Now here exosmosis will happen. Exosmosis means the water from the body, it is giving out into the salt water. So due to that, what happens? The loss of water is compensated by drinking of seawater. So usually once the solution through the body is coming out, so usually these fishes, they drink water inside the sea. So what happens? The drinking water, it will help in compensating the loss of water. So as the seawater contains large amount of salt, the salt content of the body tends to increase. So then what happens? The salt content inside the body will be increasing. This excess salt of the body is secreted out by chloride secreting cells of the gills. So usually in chloride cells in freshwater, what happens? It will help in absorption, but here chloride secreting cells, it will help in the removing or the secreting out the excess amount of salt. So same as that we'll see, and later as we know, the marine animal living in hypertonic medium, hence what happens? There will be problem of exosmosis. So the water moves out through the exposed semi-permeable surface of the gills and skin, and marine animal face the osmotic dehydration. So due to that, we call it as the physiological dehydration. So remember this definition. What do you mean by physiological dehydration? So due to the when the marine animals, they are living in hypertonic medium, they face the problem of exosmosis, that is throwing out of the excess of water, and the water moving towards through semi-permeable surface like gills and skin membrane. So as a result, the marine animals face osmotic dehydration. So this process is called as physiological dehydration. So due to this, what happens? The fish skin, it will become dry. So the kidney of the marine fishes, they are aglamular. So aglamular means they reabsorb water from the urine and hence prevent loss of water. As a result, the urine will be much concentrated when compared to the fresh water. So very different mechanism, but completely opposite of the freshwater fishes. So we'll see this in diagram. So as I was explaining, the seawater will be hypertonic and body is hypotonic, and due to that exosmosis is happening, and they compensate the loss of water by drinking lot of seawater. And by chloride secreting cells, what happens? The active ion transport, because the maximum amount of salt will be present inside their body, so they need to remove, and along with that they secrete concentrated urine because of presence of aglomerular kidney. So even this is very important mechanism for your examination point of view. So next, the migratory fishes. So we all know that some fishes are migratory from seawater to marine water and marine water to seawater. So that is why we call them as anadromous and catadromous. So these are dual. So usually they will face dual problem. Once they are in fresh water, they will be having the problems of freshwater fishes. Once they are coming to seawater, again they will be having problems of seawater. So on what basis they are migratory? So they migrate from one fresh water to seawater or vice versa for their spawning or for laying the eggs. So we'll see in detail. So anadromous, these fishes they migrate from seawater to freshwater for spawning. Example is salmon. So when they are in seawater, the body fluid will be same, that is hypotonic, and seawater is hypertonic. Hence what happens? Exosmosis. So same process it will happen. And later the loss of water is compensated by drinking lot of seawater. Hence the salt concentration of the body tends to increases, and the excess of the salt is secreted by same thing, the chloride secreting cells. You can draw the same board diagram for giving example for salmon, and next I will be telling about the catandromous. So in catandromous what happens? These migrate from fresh water to seawater. Example is eel fishes. So as they are living in fresh water, the osmoregulation resembles of the fresh water, and hence what happens? Once they are coming in seawater, the osmoregulation takes place as the same as marine fishes. So that is how the both catandromous fishes and anadromous fishes, they regulate their osmoregulation when they are present both in seawater as well as fresh water. So usually they migrate during the spawning period. Next, coming to osmoregulation of mammals. So in the next section, mainly we will be discussing about osmoregulation of mammals. So in this session, we have mainly discussed about the different types of osmoregulations, that is of the fishes, osmoregulation in fresh water, osmoregulation in marine and migratory fishes. And there are different types like marine and freshwater. That is not so important related to your syllabus. So mainly concentrate on these three different types, which can be asked for 7 marks or 5 marks. So that's about this session. Thank you.